New this week, Predator vs. Wolverine issue number 4, written by Benjamin Percy, art by Ken Lashley, Kizama, and Gavin Guidry. I don't think I said any of those names right. I'm sorry. Let me just start out by saying that this series has been an absolute delight to follow. It just kept getting better and better. While on the surface this sounds like a nerd-centric, pandering idea, Benjamin Percy has gone above and beyond to give us a miniseries that feels like an essential part of Wolverine's already complex canon. Like, it's going to be difficult for me to not think about this series when somebody mentions Wolverine in the future. I think this is largely in part due to the magnitude and scope of Benjamin Percy's story. Instead of isolating this to a single confrontation like a typical Versus tale, we see many run-ins with the iconic intergalactic hunter and the fan-favorite mutant over decades, which are highlights of some of the best eras of Wolverine over the years in the comics. The fights in this thing are so well thought out, staying true to both characters and giving them some new additions and tactics to their arsenal. The art is also appropriately gory and visceral, but also very specific and impeccably rendered. Like I said, this is an essential Wolverine story now. If you're a fan of gratuitous action films and survival horror, then you need to read this comic. Now let's talk about this penultimate issue and some spoilers. Whereas in previous decades when Logan found himself on the back foot against this creature that hunts him as its greatest trophy, Logan conspires to end the confrontation once and for all using the Predator's helmet as bait. This is how the series began, actually, with this gorgeous, bloody artwork, but now we finally understand the full gravity of this bout between the two creatures. Just as a selling point, let me tell you this. One of Logan's tactics in this issue is to cover himself in mud to avoid the Predator's thermal vision, and then he cuts out one of his own eyes and places it in the mud as a diversion so he can ambush him from behind. That's the most badass thing ever! But it's just one of the many character-driven specific sequences from this limited series that will make you audibly gasp and cheer at the page. Something else I really enjoyed from this issue, but in like a more absurd way, is the moment when the Predator ambushes Logan at X Mansion. That's canon to me now. I mean, like, do you think they ever talk about it? Kitty and Rogue are just out to lunch, and then Rogue is like, Kitty, do you remember that, like, alien bounty hunter guy who came and attacked Logan and just, like, blew up half the mansion? What was that even about? There's also some really iconic narration in this issue that I'm going to remember, such as Logan's line, "I needed to prove that I was deadlier than the death he wore." And some really cool moments for the Predator as well, such as his bear skull helmet. It's a really unique look. I love when they don't shy away from being graphic with Wolverine's healing factor. When in doubt, Mud Eye. I think the shifting art style through the various eras of Wolverine's life helps keep the series fresh. But yeah, I'm clearly a fan of this series, and I think that this conclusion issue did both characters justice. Please support your local comic book store by picking up Predator vs. Wolverine issue number 4 in stores now. And let me know if there's any other limited series or one-shots that had no business going as hard as they do.